Good evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Hi, my name's Erin Raethke, and you may know me from the Inject Creativity live chat show that I do with Adobe's Tim Kitchen. And this is the first of a series of live streams that I'm going to be doing based on projects that I find really fascinating, topics that I just want to know more about, or cute little features in software that I want to share with you, or sometimes really interesting demos that I might not get the chance to complete either during Inject Creativity Live or during any other sort of web series. So before we get started, I'd first like to do an acknowledgement of country. I respect and honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders past, present and emerging. I acknowledge the stories, the traditions and the living cultures of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples on this land and the lands in Australia that I reach, and commit to building a brighter future together. Okay, so thank you for joining me. For those of you who have live, for those of you who haven't and are watching the recording, thank you for taking the time out of your day. Depending on how many people we end up getting in here, that may change the length of this video a little bit. But unless I start getting things through the chat from YouTube, then I will keep this pretty brief. So first and foremost, before my iPad goes to sleep, I'm going to grab this and share my screen. Now, this session is specifically about for those of you who do have an iOS device, so I'm talking an iPhone or an iPad. It doesn't even have to be a particularly new one. It can be one of the older models that's, 5 or 6 years old. As long as it can install the Adobe Post app, you should be able to follow along with this. So if you're watching right now on that device, you can just follow along. Otherwise, if you're able to watch it on a computer or another phone, and then try it out live with me while I'm working through, by all means. Otherwise, just pause me as you go if you're watching the recording, and you can work through it at a later time. So let's add this screen. So here you can see the desktop of my iPad. You can do it on a phone. You absolutely can do it on a phone. I'm just choosing to use the iPad on this occasion because it has a little bit more screen real estate for me to play with. So I'm going to start by opening up the Adobe Post app. We'll just take that to full screen so you get even more space to look at things. Now, as you can see, we have the landing page of Adobe Spark Post. Now, I'm already signed in, but you can do this with a free Adobe Spark Post account. You don't need to have a paid membership in order to create things and export them. You may just find that you have some watermarks that appear on some of your work, or you're limited by some of the things that you can add that's available to paid members. So to get started, I'm going to go to my posts, and I'll just show you the examples of ones that I created earlier. So I've got the one on the top right-hand corner you can see of my dog, my puppy dog. He is a very good boy and is actually sitting next to me, so he might get a surprise cameo, especially if he decides to bark. Now, what I did was I created a short little video of him, and I embedded that inside a frame of a computer monitor. So if I was to open that, you probably can't hear me talking to him because it's just reflecting the iPad screen, but you can hear the audio within Adobe Spark Post. It doesn't just pull the video, which is really handy. So a good use case for this is to either have a fun project with kids where you could insert them into like a newscaster scenario, or if you wanted to create an introduction video for yourself that you wanted to either pop onto a web page for students, put into a learning management system, you could create that video file within here, and then upload it either into the system that you want to use or onto a video repository like YouTube. And an example like that is right here. So you may notice in this particular project that there is actually some little funny lines and little flaws that are sitting around the corners. It looks a little bit asymmetrical. And the reason for that is that I'm actually using some of the layout tools that are in Adobe Spark to create a frame that I'm then going to add a video to. So let's get started. First, I'm going to just create a picture and get started. I'm not going to worry about templates, and I'm just going to hit solid color just to start with the most basic layout. Yellow is a happy color. Let's go with that. I'm going to pop in there next. And I quite like the Instagram layout because it's a nice square uniform shape. Obviously, you can use any layout you like in here. If you wanted to create Instagram story, that's cool. But I'm just going to go with the square and tap done at the bottom of the screen. So you can see here it auto-fills some text for us, but I'm actually going to get rid of that because I want to have as clean a canvas as possible. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to select the layout button, and I'll just move my cursor over. That's right at the bottom of the screen just there. And it's going to give me a range of different layouts that I can choose from. So if I scroll across, I'm looking for a particular layout that's going to fit the image that I want to frame my video in. And it can be anything like this one or this one. What we're actually after is something that has a central box that you can scale. That's where the video is going to live. And then it's got a left and a right-hand side if what you're planning on framing the video inside doesn't extend all the way to the sides of the screen. So let's not muck around too much, and we'll go with that layout there. So it color codes it for us. So we have to select a frame that our video is going to live in. So that frame is going to be the center one for me. I'm going to hit done, tap that center frame, and I'm going to replace that center frame. And you can see in this menu right now, it says that we have lots of options. You'll notice one of the options includes a video. So if I tap videos, it tries to give me all of the videos that are available in my current gallery. So I'm going to cancel out of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new video. Oh, there's my keyboard. Let's flip that camera, shall we? I'm going to rotate it so that it's on portrait mode, because that way you can actually frame it into, like, if you're going to be like framing it into a television, obviously you might want to keep the camera that direction. If you're going to be framing it into like an iPhone where it looks like someone's holding it like this, then you might want to frame it into portrait mode. So that's what I'm going to do for this example. So I'm simply going to say something along the lines of tap record and go, whoop, pop it into video mode first, tap record and go, hi, my name's Erin and I'll be your instructor for this course. So I've created the video there. So I'm going to go back up into Spark Post. I'm going to go into the videos function, and you'll see my latest video is sitting right there. So what I can do, and you can't really see it there, so I'll use the cursor over the monitor, is I have these little lines just here where I can click and drag and change the dimensions of my recording to make them fit wherever I like. So now I've got my video in there. Now what? Well, you can frame this video with anything you like at all. It doesn't matter what you want to put it inside. You could have it framed by other photos. If you were making a fun birthday message for someone, you could surround yourself with balloons. You could surround yourself with anything. For the sake of this, I'm going to surround myself with an image of a device. So again, I'm going to create that image by taking a photo of my phone, like so. And now that that's living on my device, I'm now going to tap the cell next to it, and I'm going to tap the replace button that's sitting just down here. Then I'm going to go down to files, photo library, or you could also go to camera and create a fresh shot like that. Whatever tickles your fancy. So now the photo is sitting there, but it isn't looking really good. So what we need to do is, in this frame, using a pinching motion with your fingers, like this, you need to pop your fingers onto the screen. Make sure that cell is selected so you're not moving around the whole project. And just pinch and zoom that phone until it's sitting around the edge of the picture, like so. Now this is the fiddly part that you could spend ages trying to tinker with. So I'm going to do the next cell along. So select that section there, tap replace, go to photo library, grab the last image, move it down, tap, and pinch until I match that corner up. Next cell along, replace, photo library, in case you all didn't know from Tim talking about it during our Inject Creativity live shows, I'm getting married, and you can see the research I'm doing online. The joys of live demonstrations, hey? So that's pretty close, not quite right, but fairly close. One thing when you're doing this, if you're trying to merge an image inside of another image, you might notice sometimes the interface will actually allow you to also rotate photos within Spark Post. This can be a little bit of a pain if you're not already used to it, but you kind of get the hang of trying not to rotate things too much when you're moving them around. So that's matching up pretty close, only a couple to go. Nearly there. Doesn't have to be completely perfect, but we want to get it as close as we can to show in real time how long it actually takes to do this. So that's a difficult bit because we've got two edges to try to match up. We've got the phone, and then we've got that little bit of the picture there, as well as that pattern sitting there. But I think that's pretty close. So if we now press play, you can now see me talking from within this image. So I'm going to tap done there. And in order to export this so that we can actually use it elsewhere, I'll just rotate this so we can see a bit more of the screen. There you go. We're going to go to that little share icon at the top right-hand corner of the app. And Adobe Spark Post is going to create the video for us. Now, once the video is created, it gives us a whole bunch of export options, including creating it as a shareable template, popping it straight to Instagram, or saving the video onto your local device. I usually like to do that because I will have a bit of a play with what's being said in the post and have a bit of a think on it before I just post things straight online. So I'm just going to tap Save Video. And now, as you can see on the prompt, it has saved it to my camera roll. And yes, I do enjoy Spark, but not right now. Okay, so that is how you add a video image into a still image as a collage within Adobe Spark Post for the Adobe Spark app on Apple devices or iOS. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you have a great night. Take care of yourself, and I will see you around.